Hey everyone, welcome back to Guitars, Whiskey, and Golf. My name is Brian. Don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate it. So recently I picked up this Penelope 9-year-old at my local liquor store. It was 70 bucks, but it intrigued me because it's 9 years old. It's got a 4-grain mash bill, but really it's 85% corn, 10% rye, and it's only 2% wheat, 3% malted barley. So although it's a 4-grain, it's really a high corn, low rye bourbon mash bill. And I figured, you know what? I'd compare it to this Knob Creek 9 single barrel 120 proof at 50 bucks. So you got a $50 bottle here and a $70 bottle, both aged 9 years old. So I thought that would be an interesting comparison to see, is the Penelope worth the additional 20 bucks? So let's get into it. So right off the bat, the Knob Creek 9 single barrel, 120 proof. You know, it brings the peanut butter. I don't pick up any kind of fruit elements off of the Knob Creek 9. It's all brown sugar, some caramel, and then definitely peanut butter. Yeah, and you get that right on the palate. This creamy peanut butter element that when I reach for a Knob Creek 9 single barrel, that's what I want. I'm reaching for that peanut buttery flavor profile. And Knob Creek 9 delivers on that. So for me, at 50 bucks for a 9-year-old, this is going to be in my collection at all times. I'm always going to have at least one Knob Creek single barrel. In my opinion, it's like a core bourbon product you've just got to have. Even if you're not really that big of a collector, you know, if you're just a casual bourbon drinker and maybe you got 5 or 6 bottles around the house, this is a great sipper that you just got to have. It'll please virtually everybody, even your discerning bourbon friend. Everybody's going to kind of love a Knob Creek 9 single barrel 120 proof. Touch of tobacco there. You know, it's not super refined. There's a little bit of a bite to the Knob Creek 9, but I find it to be absolutely delicious. And like I said, it's always going to be in my collection. So the question is this Penelope 9-year-old, is it worth the additional 20 bucks? So the bourbon in this bottle is MGP. MGP, as you know, bought Penelope about a year ago, I believe. So Penelope is now owned by MGP. MGP, one of the largest distillers of spirits out there, and they provide bourbons for many, many different companies. But now that MGP owns Penelope, and this is kind of becoming one of their like flagship products, you know, the word on the street is that they're devoting really, really good barrels to the Penelope 9-year-old. So let's get into this. Chocolatey, sort of dark, bitter, dark chocolate. There is a nuttiness to it, but it's more almond. Yeah, it's more almond than it is peanut, like the Knob Creek. Yeah, nice. Dark chocolate, almond. Touch of tobacco there. Ooh, it's so good. This is a little bit more refined, in my opinion. What I've found with a lot of Jim Beam products is that I like them, but they're not always super refined. This is a refined bourbon that's very well rounded, but really it's just a low rye, high corn content bourbon, even though it's a 4-grain. I personally really, really like the Penelope 9, and the more I sip on it, the more I'm liking it. I think it's worth the price. Both of these, this is an absolute must-have. It's a core product. But you know what? I'm really loving this Penelope. I've also got a bottle of the Penelope 4 grain, but it's the 80 proofer, and that's fine for a sort of somebody that's just getting into bourbons, and it's lighter. It's a lighter expression. This is very rich and has a very creamy mouthfeel, and like I said, it's very refined. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm loving both of them. I think this is worth the price I paid for it. Would I love it to be $60? Of course, but this is something that I wouldn't hesitate buying again. So I'll be on the lookout for it. I'll be sharing this with friends, and I think everybody's going to enjoy it. So I hope that helps you out. I think, to be honest with you, this really comes down to what's your budget. If you're a casual bourbon drinker and you like to have a few bottles around the house for when you have parties and guests over, the Knob Creek 9 Single Barrel, 120 proof, is a must have. If you're really more into collecting, and you're really super into bourbons and ryes, then the Penelope 9-year-old at $70 uh, is going to be something that's absolutely worth buying. I think you'll highly enjoy it. It's a very well refined bourbon, a lot of chocolate elements, a lot of almond. So, with that, I'll leave you with thanks for joining Guitars, Whiskey, and Golf. I think both of these are hitters and worth picking up. And it just comes down to your budget and what you are looking to pay for on any given day for a bottle. So, take care, everyone. Thanks for joining Guitars, Whiskey, and Golf. Bye.